All right. So let's go ahead and get started here with our post-game analysis brought to you by FanDuel. So this was obviously a must-win game. I think we can both agree it was a must-win game for Michigan. And when I heard that both starting tight ends were going to be out, the starting running back was going to be out, TJ, I thought this was going to be a tough one. However, in the big house, back against the wall, as has happened before, Sharon Moore and the team pull it together. Shout out to Swanky Wolverine, who let us, who has given us permission to use this graphic. Step Brothers, the Marshalls having a day. So on offense, starting things off on offense. What did you see here that was just a positive? And what was kind of the difference in this game versus last time?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think the message was made clear this week. I think Sharon Moore got to his team, got to his players, got to his coaching staff. Michigan put up 417 yards of total offense against Washington today, 230 through the air, 187 on the ground. Shout out to Jordan Marshall, which we kind of hit on. Just a well-played game. Now, was it perfect? No. And there are some areas we'll get into, like drop passes and things like that. But at the end of the day, this today looked like, John, Michigan football, right? This is what we are used to seeing, this style of play. Now, was it perfect? Absolutely not. Is there areas to improve on? Absolutely. Are we a young team? Clearly, we are a young team. That said, anyone, and I'm talking for most of us here, who was frustrated with Sharon Moore, he answered today. He got the team to rally and play extremely well. The offense was good. Offensive line, John, I thought did a great job in the running game. They did have their moments in the passing game where Bryce was able to, get out of the pocket or extend plays. But, we saw Evan Link go down, which that looks not good. That looks like a potential ACL or something.
Yeah.
Frazier came in, stepped in, played well. The tight end situation is interesting. Well. Yeah, he did play well. And then the tight end situation is unique. But, I mean, look, Marshall stepped up today. Tonelli, there were some drops. I think Tonelli had a drop, or was it Marshall? I can't recall. Morgan really does need to probably sit on the bench. I think we're all on the same page there.
He is
a liability. I know he's got heart, man, but it can only go so far. Underwood was not perfect. The very first throw of the game was a very sketchy throw. I mean, it was some Alex Orji type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
it did look like Alex Orji. That's what I thought of.
What I loved watching Underwood today, John, is I felt like we were watching him grow in front of us, putting touch on the ball. Never lost composure. Even when the game was tight, even when we were making mistakes, even when we were not getting the first downs all the time, he stayed composed. He led the team. I mean, Bryce Underwood's stat line today, John, was 21 for 27, 230 yards and 2 touchdowns and 4 drops. So in theory, he should have been 24 for 27. Elite day for the young 18-year-old kid, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, John, and I know we're focusing on offense, but this team showed up. Michigan showed up today. Michigan kept their season alive. Michigan kept their playoff chances alive. And Michigan looked like Michigan today. I was very happy with it. It was a stressful first half. I know we were all going through it. I was going through it. We were all going through it. And it's because it looked like we were missing opportunities. We were beating ourselves. But I was happy. I was happy to see how the team responded today, John.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing was trench play. Now, were there a couple of times when either Frazier got knocked back or somebody got knocked back? Sure. But for the most part, compared to last week, on both sides of the ball, trench play was significantly improved. So even when there were drops, and I agree with you. I think Samaj, you're out of here. Simpson, you're up. Or Browder, you're up. Marsh, go to slot. Something needs to happen there. Samaj needs to sit a few weeks. I'm done. He needs to sit because I think that that's the only thing holding us back from a 10-2 potential season is Samaj, because if the line play stays this good, remember, the toughest game left is also in the big house. So the big house factor clearly played a role today. Trench play was good. If that happens again, and then you have Simpson or you have Browder in there, I genuinely believe this team could still go 10-2 and be in the playoff.
Yeah.
And that's a wild thing compared to where my head was last week in the glass case of emotion. To continue with the Will Ferrell references today, we're gonna have a lot of Will Ferrell references, I think, from some quality films there. But compared this week to last week, night and day. But Samaj needs to go. I think that the play calling, for the most part, Chip Lindsey called a masterful game. Because he was able to scheme guys open. He was able to scheme Zach Marshall open. And Zach Marshall is a player that I have been waiting. Like, I have told you guys for like a year and a half, wait, because there's going to be a game Zach Marshall blows up. And I've believed in him, and this was his game. 72 yards, 5 receptions, a touchdown, which was the play I was just referencing. Chip Lindsey able to scheme him open. And I think Chip played, this was Chip's best called game, because he was able to utilize the personnel he had. He utilized backup tight ends, backup running back effectively. And Bryce was able to have enough time to actually throw in the pocket sometimes. And then sometimes they rolled him out. Very effective on play action. The play action worked because Jordan Marshall was working, because the run was working, because the line was working, so they had to respect the play action fake. And when it happened, it started working. And so I think that on offense, really good. And what's also interesting is Michigan had more receiving yards than rushing yards. 230 in the air, 187 on the ground. And that's something you don't hear a lot in Michigan football. And so I think Chip Lindsey called an excellent game today, TJ.
Yeah. I mean, look, I have never been out on Chip Lindsey. I have believed in Chip Lindsey this whole season. We have felt that maybe Sharon has had some influence on the play calling to an extent since he's been back from his suspension, but it did look like Chip Lindsey was very, had open range today to what he would want to do. I mean, the offense did its job, John. The offense stayed composed, got us points, marched down the field consistently. It was a first down that, the challenge that was not, or the lack of challenge on that. But then we got the interception by, I believe it was Sullivan. So I mean, look, at the end of the day, they did their job. If there is an area of question, which I know special teams is not offense, but it is scoring, Zavada, what's going on? I don't know. That's a very interesting situation there. What we thought was probably the surest thing coming into the season appears to be one of the questionable. I mean, let me ask you guys this question, and not to, take down the vibe, but I mean, honest question. Fourth quarter, 5 seconds left in the game. We need a 3 to win against Ohio State. And it's a 52-yard kick. How are you feeling? Now, before I'd be like, oh, it's a lock. We're money. Now, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully Zavada can get it together. I mean, obviously it's a mental thing. We saw him play elite last year, All-American kicker. So yeah, that's where I am there, but not to beat too much on it. Hopefully he figures it out. But offensively, John, great game, and if you want transition to defense, there's a lot to talk about there as well.
Oh yeah. And this is where, again, we get into rumor, we get into speculation, but there are some question marks about Rod Moore being out. He was not on the injury report. He made it to Jack Tuttle, kind of talking about, you don't know what the locker room's like. I have the images. I'm trying to get them up. But if he was pulled out because of that, which again, I will not report yes or no on that, but he wasn't on the injury report.
Right. Well, I will say this. Here's what I know. During the week, we got word that there was some turbulence within the locker room since the post game on USC. And Rod Moore was one of the names that I heard, but I didn't want to make it publicly on Thursday's show because like I just it wasn't confirmed, and I'm not in the fucking locker room. But I will say it is interesting he didn't play. It is interesting Hillman didn't play. Who knows to what extent who was involved in all of the the locker room situation. And from my understanding, it wasn't even just players, some coaches were involved as well. But at the end of the day, that's not a negative. Like I want to stress this, okay? Because the truth of the matter is when you have a bunch of alphas in a room, you have some high profile athletes and you are not meeting the results that you have worked for, there is going to be frustration. There is going to be tempers that boil. And it's all about how you respond. And what's beautiful is no one can deny or argue Michigan did not respond today. They played good football, John. We were tackling today, sound football, fundamentally disciplined football, physical football. Now, is it to the elite status we were used to the last, 3 years prior to last year? No, but that's okay because we are a young team growing and developing in front of our eyes. We are the youngest team in the Big Ten, but that's not an excuse. We're not using it as an excuse, but we are trying to bring some context to the reality of the growth of the team. But at the same time, like today, the team looked like Michigan football.
Right.
Offensively, defensively, impressive. Sharon Moore, what he did today, back against the wall, pressure. And he got pressure. I mean, tons of pressure. Hey, guess what? Looks like his jacket works, John. The jacket's working. I like that jacket. I'm now a huge fan of that jacket, John.
Yeah, because we won.
Wear it next week, Sharon. Let's go.
Yeah, that's now officially a good, now let's just keep wearing it because that's clearly good luck. I now no longer think it's stupid. Also, I will say this. Can you believe that when you don't blitz as much, then Damon Williams was having trouble finding receivers?
Interesting. It is interesting.
Really interesting idea there.
There was, they did. They rushed a lot of four. Which obviously is an adjustment by Wink. So again, credit to Sharon, credit to Wink identifying this. I will say there were moments where I felt, man, we need to get more pressure, but they were just trying to stay responsible and make sure they handle themselves on the back end of the defense. And quite honestly, their persistence paid off. It really did stymie Washington's. Guys, we're talking a very good offense. We're talking about a similar offense to USC. We're talking about a team that isn't even that far off of USC, by the way. If we played like this against USC, I feel the result would be different. But that is what it is. We lost to USC. It is what it is. But the point being is that was a very good borderline top 25 team that we beat today. The defense did their job. They had the right game plan. I mean, that's a very good quarterback that we beat today. Was it Damon Williams, man? Like the kid's a mobile quarterback, has a good arm. He threw 2 interceptions on the year, and today threw 3. I don't know. I am today's game outside of the drops by Samaj Morgan, especially met everything I was looking for. Everything I went into this game. I went into observation mode this week. I was like, look, I'm not out on Sharon Moore, but I understand the concerns. And there was a lot of questions, but how does he rally the troops? How does the team respond? How does the things like tackling, which by the way, it was a very physical week of practice. They did work on the tackling. The team looked like they were ready to play today. That's the other thing, John. The team was ready to play. Mm-hmm. Was the first drive amazing for offense? No. Doesn't matter. Because we lost the battle on the first drive, but we won the war, right? So at the end of the day, that's what matters. It's the consistency, the persistence. I was just very happy with today's result.
Yeah, the team looked ready. They looked well coached. They looked prepared. Yep. You know what I like the most? And this is so Sharon Moore lighting into the running back,
Jasper Parker
running
at
back,
the end of the
Jasper
game.
Parker, for not hitting where he should have gone. And I love that because what did we talk about all week?
I know.
Too much of a friend, not enough of a coach. I'll tell you what, they benched Hillman for sucking. They benched, I may disagree with Rod Moore for the tweet, potentially.
Maybe.
And then this. Okay, these are 3 examples now of Sharon Moore being a coach, not a friend, which I like. This is a good thing. This
Yeah.
is growth. I wish it had happened sooner. Maybe we don't drop one of the 2 games. But hey, at least he's figuring it out now. And I will say there's one thing about Sharon that I will admire. When his back's up against the wall, he puts it together, right? Ohio State, Alabama, here we go
Yep.
again with Washington, a good
Yep.
Washington team.
Yep. Yes.
They're not
Yes.
a bad like
We
Fish is a good coach.
we whooped Washington's ass. That's what I mean. That is why, John, the season's alive. Like, if we look at the rest of the schedule here, John, okay, boys, if you have not looked ahead, it's time to start looking ahead. Next game, by the way, we got a little brother. Rub their fucking nose in it. And I'm going to tell you right now, start bookmarking these little Spartan accounts who want to run their mouth, bro. They got nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. Justin Spiro, all this cheating shit. Shut the fuck up, bro. For real. Like, your tweets are embarrassing, bro. You're embarrassing. Stop it. Like, you're annoying the shit out of me. Stop it. Talking about cheat. Oh, Michigan. Oh, all of a sudden Michigan's not good because they're not cheat. Shut the fuck up. We embarrassed you. We're gonna embarrass you this year too. Embarrassed you last year. Embarrassed you the year before. You're a bottom feeder program. You're gonna fire your fucking coach. Shut up, bro. But like, at the end of the day, we got little brother next. Rub their fucking nose in it, bro. I swear to God, we need to rub. Sharon Moore needs to make a statement that game. We run this state, and we do. And then we have Purdue, should be a dub. Northwestern should be a dub. Then we have Maryland. I will say, respectable program, very good quarterback. They got a respectable program right now. They're playing some solid football. So that's a game to at least not overlook. And then obviously we have the game, which is going to be the game that determines our playoff hopes. We win that game, we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We lose that game, then we are one game short. One game short of reaching some goals this year, outside of beating your rival, but making the playoffs is a big one, but I'm excited. I think the team, as long as the team can play like this the rest of the year, and by the way, we saw this last year, midpoint of the year, Michigan just started playing better football as the season went on. They started getting it together. Hopefully that's not a repeat next year. We'll worry about that in the offseason, though. The boys better start out better next season. But at the end of the day, the team looks to be playing better football. The kids are growing and developing and evolving in front of us. Michigan's identifying the best kids on the field. I loved seeing Jasper Parker as the third running back, by the way, not Kuzdal. And then the linebacker situation is real interesting. And then somebody asked about Houseman. I don't know if there's a super chat or not, but he was walking on his own. He seems to potentially be okay. We'll have to just see how that goes throughout the week. But John, Michigan is back. Let's see what they can do 1 week at a time right now. That's where we are, 1 week at a time. And then let's beat the shit out of little brother because they suck. And they annoy me.
Absolutely. And let's also shout out Cole Sullivan, Jimmy Rolder, and Jacob Olden for putting together 3 interceptions. We've been talking about the secondary. We've been talking about some of the leakiness going on there. And Williams, at times, this kind of reminded me a little bit of the Michael Penix game in 23, in that he was getting some movement and he was getting some yards, and then interceptions. Will Johnson or Sanders still the interception on that one. Well, 3 interceptions today on Damon Williams. So I do think he's a great quarterback, but our guys came in at the right moments to make those interceptions happen. And I think that really was a key difference in the game from this. Because I believe it or not, the score doesn't reflect how much of a whooping this actually was. Like, this is like exact opposite of last week, because we had a really bad drop from Samaj. We had a really bad drop from Jair Hill that would have led to potentially 6 points on pick 6. So we're looking at potentially a 34 or 37-7 ass whooping. Okay. So it was very close to that. This is still a really great win for the team. Really happy for the guys. And thank you to Jackson, because Jackson just brought us to hour 2. That's right, folks. We are going an absolute minimum of 2 hours, thanks to the man himself, Jackson Johnson.
I want to hit on the other critical thing, which we did kind of touch a little bit, but the culture is still alive.
Yes.
That was a big concern for a lot of people. It was a big concern for a lot of people regarding some of the things that they were hearing that was going on in the locker room. It was also a big concern, obviously, seeing the play on the field. But there, in my opinion, I think today solidifies Sharon still has the locker room. He still commands this team, and there is still a standard at Michigan. And listen, we do not have a Joe Moore award-winning offensive line. We did not convert that 4th and 2 like we typically would in the past.
We would have.
But you know what? We have a young offensive line, as Joel Klatt said, 3 redshirt freshmen. This team will get better. And I promise you, like I would put money on this. If anyone wants to bet me, fucking do it. This offseason, Michigan's going to cook. I promise you. Back's going to be against the wall. They're going to be aggressive. I feel very confident, especially if this team plays this way the rest of the fucking year. I just feel that the team will be a year older. They're gonna fill these gaps in the roster right now that we're unfortunately dealing with from the prior years of recruiting when NIL wasn't up to par. This team's gonna be good. And by the way, I know we're talking about Michigan postgame. Did anyone see Savion Hyder's stat line yesterday? Did you see this, John? Savion Hyder, number 1 running back in the nation, who is fully committed to Michigan, loves Michigan. It's not even a doubt, by the way. Dude, his fucking stat line was like, let me find it real quick because it's so stupid. I don't even want to misspeak. It's coming. Got it. 12 touches, John. This is the number 1 running back in the nation who will be joining Michigan next season. 12 attempts, 12 carries, 261 yards, John.
Woo! 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
My God.
The kid's a freak. Number 1 running back in the nation. Some are saying possibly the best running back to come out in the last 3 years. I've seen some scouts say that, so we'll see. To be determined.
So the bottom line before we get to super chats, the guys responded. Sharon and team responded. Are there things that could be improved? Did I want to see that spot challenged? Where they called it 4th and inches?
Yeah.
Yes. Were there coaching issues, timeouts? There still are. But at least they're making a significant amount of progress.
And then the end of the first half where we had like 40 some odd seconds and like 3 timeouts, the way they structured that drive, we got to be better. Like, that's not a championship approach. I mean, the way they approached it was not. They just got to be better, man. But the good thing is, it is better to learn from a win than a loss. And that's what today is. Today is an opportunity to learn from the mistakes, improve, grow, but we won. So that's what matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And of course, shout out to the Marshalls. My guy, Zach Marshall, and maybe the best RB2 in the nation. I don't even think it's close. Best RB2 in the nation.
Jordan Marshall is finding his game. I mean, I noticed it in USC when he came in, he just looked quicker, more confident. He is finding his comfort level at the college level. Major. And guys, Justice Haynes almost went today. Just so everyone, like, Justice Haynes, he did warm-ups today. He was the first running back in running back drills, just not ready yet. I do think Justice Haynes will play next week against Little Brother. And then that's just deadly. And then if we can just get our tight ends back, if we can just get Hogan Hansen, I know Zach Marshall had a good game, but if we can just get Hogan Hansen, Marlon Klein back, figure out Samaj Morgan, like either replace him, sit him, I don't know. But they fucking love the kid. I don't know. But and we're all right. We're all right. You know what I mean? The team looks all right, you know? Like, and when I mean all right, I mean playoff. Today, John, I know we're about to get to super chats. Did we not look playoff caliber today?
Yeah, like 11th, 12th team.
Yeah. I'm not
playoff
saying top
caliber,
5 team
like
here.
outside.
I'm saying
playoff.
a top 12 team. I am saying we looked like a top 12 team today.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, yes. And that's not some bias shit. I'd be very honest with you if I didn't agree that. No, we looked like a good football team today. We just have some things we got to clean up.
Yeah, I'm with you there.